Amidst this whole Weightgate RNG scandal, you now have Festival of the Lost weapons to grind. And to not waste your time against unfair RNG, let's go over weapon rolls you should chase, or probably avoid. Bungie is working on a fix for the RNG issue, which could come very soon. So to make this guide more evergreen, it's going to be split into 3 parts. A brief explainer on weighted perk combo so you know how it currently works, perk combos you shouldn't prioritize due to unfavorable odds, and recommended rolls regardless of RNG. First up, what is this Weightgate? Simply put, true RNG is difficult and computationally expensive to implement. It was discovered recently that the RNG method Bungie uses unintentionally affects the odds of certain perk combinations, while individual perks all have the same chance. So instead of Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch having a 1 in 36 chance of dropping, as each perk has a 1 in 6 chance, its odds are actually closer to 1 in 454. To know which perk combinations have worse odds, look at the physical distance apart each perk is listed in the columns of the weapon in the API via sites like D2 Foundry. Combos with a distance of 0, so next to each other, or 1, are generally lower than the true odds, in this case 1 in 24 instead of what would typically be 1 in 36. Distance 3 apart is when the odds drastically increase, in this case being 1 in 454. The odds also differ based on the number of perks in each column. For Festival of the Lost weapons, they each have 7 perks per column, so the true odds would be 1 in 49 for any given combination. The good news is that the perks of a distance of 3 have not as terrible odds, being that of 1 in 136, while the lesser distances are again closer or lower than true odds, 1 in 30 to 54. Some of you might think that Bungie did this intentionally, but the evidence doesn't suggest that. If so, all meta perk combos for PvE and PvP would have these drastically increased odds, but that's not the case. VS Velocity Baton from the same dungeon has the meta combo of Demolitionist Attrition Orbs at a perk distance of 1, and the Exuvier Hand Cannon's Rhyme Stealer Headstone combo with a perk distance of 0. For more in-depth information, check out the links in the description. Additionally, check the pinned comment on news of Bungie fixing the RNG system. Now let's talk about the festival weapons, recommended rolls, and their perk combinations that are at a perk distance of 3. Technically, you could get them, since the event is 3 weeks long and there is direct weapon focusing, but certain combos are quite rare, 1 in 136 instead of being closer to the true odds of 1 in 49. Starting off, we have the new weapon, Arcane Embrace, an Arc Heavy Burst shotgun. Like the recent addition of Heavy Burst pulse rifles, this should pack quite a punch. For PvE, you have perks like Air Trigger and 4 times the Charm for more ammo and less reload downtime, and Grave Robber, which got changed to also refill the magazine if you damage an enemy with a charged melee. For damage perks, you got Swashbuckler for run and gun, and either Precision Instrument or Surrounded to help with DPS. Either option depends on your situation, ease of hitting the crit, number of enemies, length of the damage phase, etc. To know how likely it is to get certain combinations, on screen are all the combos that have a perk distance of 3, so have the worst odds being around 1 in 136. For PvE, the only affected role is Grave Robber Swashbuckler. Unfortunate, but not a deal breaker. For PvP, Lone Wolf and Slide Shot paired with Closing Time are going to be rare. Looking at all my recommended rolls, my eyes are on Grave Robber or 4 times the Charm and Precision Instrument. While the time it takes to do a powered melee is too long to keep Precision Instrument from resetting, it'll still be good to keep from manually reloading. For other fun options, try out Air Trigger and Volt Shot. Lots of ammo, quick reload by jumping, and then apply Jolt. For PvP, try out Lone Wolf, Slide Shot, or Threat Detector with Tap the Trigger. Since this is a new weapon archetype, a lot of testing needs to be done, along with you personally testing it to see what you like. Next, let's look at Acosmic, a void rapid-fire grenade launcher. Last year, it was an unremarkable weapon, but this year it has some utility and DPS capabilities. Withering Gaze is the highlight in the third column, as it applies Weaken to the target for ADSing for 1.5 seconds. While not special this episode, since the artifact grants all grenade launchers the ability to weaken high-rank enemies, in the future this will be handy. Otherwise, you have the whole gambit of meta perks: Bait and Switch, Explosive Light, and Frenzy. Looking at the rare perk combos with a distance of 3, you unfortunately have the likes of Air Trigger Frenzy or Cascade Point, and Clown Cartridge Bait and Switch. Looking at all my recommended rolls, keep an eye out for Withering Gaze paired with Frenzy, Bait and Switch, or Explosive Light. Being able to weaken an enemy without the need of certain subclass abilities and also have a top tier damage perk is something special. For lengthy encounters or activities, like Onslaught or the final boss of Vesper's Host, Air Trigger plus Bait and Switch also has my eye. For a weapon that shouldn't have come back, let's talk about Braytech Werewolf. For the 3rd season in a row, we get another kinetic precision frame auto rifle. If you already have a God Roll, Breakneck, or Origin Story, you can skip this. If you don't, then this might be worth it since it'll be easier to get than those weapons while Festival is active. But those aforementioned weapons can roll with multiple perks in each column, while Festival weapons can't. For the rare combos, only 3 really stand out: DSR and Target Lock, Zen Moment with either Tap the Trigger or Target Lock, and then Pugilist Kinetic Tremors. Expanding to other cool combinations, you have Lone Wolf and Tap the Trigger, Rewind Rounds and Onslaught, or Zen Moment Kill Clip. Lots of good rolls, but also a lot of competition in this archetype. Turning to Jurassic Green, you have a competent Solar Rapid Fire Pulse. Hot perks like Incandescent, Heal Clip, Kill Clip, Frenzy, Lone Wolf, and Headseeker. Unfortunately, a lot of good combinations are on the rare end, being that a perk distance of 3. I suspect a lot of people will want Lone Wolf with Frenzy or Headseeker, or that Heal Clip Kill Clip combo. On the bright side, the standout combos should be on the easier side to get. You have Closing Time with Under Pressure if you want to double tip on perks that activate in the bottom half of your mag, or sub in Headseeker for a neutral PvP dueling perk. For PvE, the tried and true combo of Heal Clip with either Frenzy or Incandescent is at your disposal and should be easy to nab. Lastly, we have the Mechabre, an arc aggressive sniper. This is one of the meta PvP snipers, now with access to the likes of Closing Time, Lone Wolf, and To the Pain. However, a lot of the rare combinations will make PvP players unhappy. Combos such as Snapshot Closing Time and Lone Wolf Opening Shot. But if we expand to all recommended rolls, we see that the good old Snapshot Opening Shot should be quite easy to get, and PvE players can have some fun with Air Trigger and Discord, Volt Shot, or Vorpal. Like with all PvP weapons, I highly recommend you personally testing the PvP perks, as their impact is really based on your playstyle and activity. Lone Wolf and Closing Time are great for boosting aim assist, ADS speed, range, and accuracy, but how strongly those benefits outweigh those of Snapshot Opening Shot depends on how isolated you are and ammo. And that's an overview of the Festival of the Lost Weapons, recommended rolls, and combinations you probably shouldn't prioritize. Since the odds aren't as horrible for 7 perks per column weapons, you should be alright chasing whatever you desire. If there are any changes to the RNG system, I'll have it in the pinned comment. And while you're down there, let me know what god rolls you are chasing. Remember to like today's video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and come check out the Sundog Gaming Discord if you want to make some new Destiny friends. As always, I am your Commander Pika. Be kind, have fun, and I'll see you on the battlefield.